Hey guys, it's Alex here. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we tested out the brand new Colourpop x Legend of Korra collaboration. I really like the Avatar series, so this is really cool to me. There's some new products as well that I test out from Colourpop that aren't related to the collection too, so we just have some fun new products to play with. And I'm going to give you guys a tutorial on how I created this waterbending inspired look. So if you've watched the series, you know that Korra is a waterbender, so it made sense to do this, but she also ends up being the Avatar. So yeah, I just thought that we should do a blue look today. And if you guys want to know what I think on this collection and how to create this look, just keep on watching. So I have this PR box here with all of the Colourpop x Legend of Korra products. So we're just going to go through all the products first and then we will create a look using them. First up we have the Legend of Korra eyeshadow palette. Here's what the inside of the palette looks like. We've got all of these shades representing the 4 elements. Next up we have a Super Shock highlighter in the shade Spirit Wilds. So it's just this cute little taupe mauve compact. And then inside is the product. Mine got a little bit destroyed in the mail, but it's just this really pretty, almost bronzy gold shade. It might be a little bit too dark for me, but we'll give it a go anyway. And then next up we have 2 Graphics ink eyeliners. I actually really like these. So it comes in the shade Korra, which is a really pretty light blue shade, and the shade Heart to Heart, which is a burgundy shade. And then next up we have 2 Fresh Kiss lip creams, and these come in the shades Partner in Crime and Loyal Friend. And then lastly, Colourpop has actually released a brand new product with this collection, and it is the Chrome Liquid eyeshadow in 4 different shades. So these are so awesome. They're essentially like insanely duochrome eyeshadows. I don't actually think I've seen a shift in these before in any other product. I'll give you guys a close-up, but these are absolutely insane. So first up we've got the shades Fire and Water, and then we've got the shades Air and Earth. And here are all 4 of the shades swatched on my hand. So completely unrelated to the collection, Colourpop has also sent me all of their new shadow sticks. So they're essentially eyeshadow sticks that are a cream product that dry down, so I think these will be really cool to incorporate into the tutorial today. So massive thank you to Colourpop for kindly gifting me both the Korra collection and the shadow sticks. Even though these products were sent to me, all opinions in this video are my own. So without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, so I just quickly went off camera and I prepped my base. And I feel like playing with the blue eyeshadows today. First up, I'm going to take this shade here called Change. And I'm just going to put this above my natural crease. That is a very, very pigmented navy blue. Okay, I like it. So I'm just building that product up in my crease. And then I'm just going to start creating like an angled wing shape with that shade as well. Just because I want to do like a tapered cut crease today. This will be a little bit of a trust the process moment, but I promise we will get there in the end. So I'm just going to repeat this on the other side. So we've got a similar shape on each eye. Now we're going to start to blend this out. Next up I'm going to take this shade here called Waterbending. And I'm just going to use that on the very edge of that dark blue shade. It's a lot more pastel than I thought it would be. And it's kicking up a lot of product, but not really much pigment is coming off. So I'm just going to work my way around the entire shape and just start blending that dark blue out. Okay, it's looking like a little bit of a hot mess right now, not gonna lie, but trust the process. So because there is not a white eyeshadow in this palette, I'm just going to be taking some of my translucent powder and mixing it with that blue shade to get a lighter blue. So I'm just kind of making that blue even lighter so that we get a nice seamless blend. I feel like it's kind of just made it look a bit grey, so I think I'm going to try to find a white eyeshadow or like an even lighter pastel blue. I've got my Colourpop Fade into Hue palette and I'm going to take this lightest blue shade here called Take It Easel, and we're going to use that to blend out that blue. See, that's already looking so much better. So yeah, unfortunate that I have to use another palette to blend these blues out. That's kind of typical for Colourpop collab palettes. Obviously, like, they want to have a color story that suits the theme of the palette, and sometimes that can mean that the color story is a little bit tricky to work with without integrating other products. Okay, that's looking a lot better compared to this side. So I'm just going to do the same thing on that eye. This blending is looking a little bit trash currently. I'm going to go back in with my darkest shade Change, and I'm going to pack that back into the look. And essentially we're just going to re-blend everything together so we have a nice seamless blend. And then I'm just going back in with the shade Water Bending and using that to soften that edge. Okay, I'm happy with the blend and I want to do a half cut crease, so I'm going to clear off the excess eyeshadow that is on my lid using some makeup remover. Now that I've cleared the excess product off, I'm going to cut my crease using my P. Louise paint in the shade Blank Canvas. Okay, I'm back and I've cut my crease, so now let's apply some shimmer on the lid. I really want to go in with this Colourpop shadow stick in the shade Rain Check, and I'm just going to kind of stamp that on the outer edge of that cut crease. And then I'm going to go in with a smaller brush and blend it in. So I'm just going to pick some of that product up on this brush. And I'm just going to take that on the other side as well and do the same thing. Okay, I really like the shadow sticks. They're really easy to use, very creamy. Next up, let's take a shimmer from the palette. I'm going to pick up this shade here called Rebel Spirit. And I'm just going to stamp that all over the lid. Whoa, that's really pretty. I'm just going to bring that about 2/3 of the way into my lid. And I'm just picking that shade up on a small brush to get nice and close to the cut crease line. And next I'm going to pick up this shade here called Air. And we're just going to put that right in the inner corner. I might actually go in and pick up this shade with my finger. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. And I'll go back in with my small brush and just blend that right into that cut crease edge. I have this Jelly Much shadow from Colourpop in the shade Stargaze that I want to put into the blend a little bit, just because it's such a cool blue and I think it would suit the look perfectly. I'm just going to take some of that on my finger and just tap that into the very edge. I almost forgot, I want to use this new Chroma Shift shadow in the shade Water. It kind of has like an oil slick colour to it. It's so pretty, but I just want to put it on the very edge of this look. I'm going to go in with a small brush and apply this as well, just so I have a bit more control. Whoa, I'm just putting it in between that cream eyeshadow and the matte eyeshadows. Okay, and to add a bit more blue, I've got this Mermaid's pigment from Peach's Makeup that I just want to put on the very inner half of the eye. Just going to stamp that on top. Oh yeah. That's exactly what this look needed. Next I want to use the Graphics ink liner in the shade Korra, and I just want to line the edge of my cut crease. So I'm just going to apply this right along the edge of my cut crease. I really like these liners because they're actually so easy to use. I'm not sure if that's too much. I wish it was a little bit more of a pastel blue, but I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and then I'll be right back. Okay, I finished the liner on both eyes, and before we finish off the rest of the look, I'm just going to quickly go off camera and do my base, and then I will be right back. I'm back and I've done the majority of my base. There's just a few base products in the collection that I wanted to use today. So for lips today, I'm going to go in with this Fresh Kiss lip cream in Loyal Friend, just because I feel like the red that comes with this collection will be a little bit too much with the eyes we've got today. Oh, it's a pretty colour. I like the shade. It's like a universal brownie nude. It's quite pretty. And then lastly, we have got the Super Shock highlighter. I think this is going to be too dark for my complexion, so maybe I'll just put it on my chest and we'll see how it looks. I might just do like a little swatch on my arm and see what that looks like. Oh, it's like a pretty gold. It doesn't actually look too dark now that I've like swatched it on my arm. So we'll pop a little bit on my highlighter. Put some on my neck as well. I always like the body Super Shock highlighters because I feel like they're just so good for if you want to put them on and look like sparkly without getting that like greasy feeling that some other liquid products do. Okay, so let's finish off the eyes. I'm picking up that eyeshadow in the shade Change and just running that under my lower lash line. And then I'm blending that out using the shade Water Bending. And I'm just going to connect that up to my top part of the eye as well. In the waterline, I'm going to take this Colourpop cream gel liner in the shade Crybaby. And I'm just going to pop that in at my waterline. And then I'm just taking some of that shade Air and just kind of dragging it under the lower inner corner. I'm just taking some more of that Mermaid's pigment from Peach's Makeup and just putting that under my brow bone and in my inner corner just for some extra sparkle. Okay, I'm pretty sure that Free Spirit shade that's in the palette is a cream because it's just transferring on my eye and smudging everywhere. It just like won't set. What I might do is I might just pop some of that Air shade on top and just kind of get it to set because it's making a mess everywhere. I just touched up the eyeshadow and the liner just because that other shade just completely messed it up. So I'm just going to pop some mascara and lashes on, and then I'll be back to give you guys my final thoughts. Okay guys, I am back and I have finished off the look with some mascara and lashes. I am absolutely obsessed with how this look came out. So that leads me to my final thoughts on the collection. First, let's start off with the eyeshadow palette. The shades that I used were really pigmented. And they blended really nicely. However, I noticed this kind of with all Colourpop palettes is that they usually need another palette to get a cohesive blend with. Especially when you've got 4 different colour stories, I find it quite hard to blend colours together if there isn't a matte white or more transition shades. But I mean, the palette is still pretty and it doesn't really make that much of a difference if I have to use like a translucent powder or a lighter blue to blend out the colours. Majority of people do have more than one eyeshadow palette. I did not like this shade here called Rebel Spirit. I think it's a cream. A pressed cream. I can't find any information saying that that's what it is on the packaging, but it just kept transferring on my lid, so I had to set it with the Air eyeshadow. So just keep that in mind if you want something long wearing. I probably would avoid that shade just because it creased so quickly on me. The palette does have quite a bit of kickback because the shades are pressed really softly, however they are really pigmented, so if you don't like having eyeshadows that kind of make a mess in the pan, just keep that in mind if you do want to purchase this. But other than that, I did like the palette and I do think the shades are really pretty. And next up we have the Super Shock highlighter in the shade Spirit Wilds. I think it's really pretty. I personally just love using these all over my body, especially when I go to events. They just add a little extra shine without being too much. So I like this and I will use it again. And for the 2 Fresh Kiss lip creams, I really like this formula. I don't actually think I've tried this Colourpop formula before. The colour that I've got on is Loyal Friend. I think it's so pretty. This is typically darker than what I would go for, but I actually really like the colour on me. And the formula is just comfortable. It's matte, but it doesn't feel dry like a matte. It's creamy, it's nice, it is not transfer proof. But honestly that doesn't bother me. I think it's a really pretty shade and I'm excited to try this one too because it's very dark and vampy. And of course we've got the 2 new Graphics ink liners. I used the shade Korra on the eyes. I've used these before. I love these. These are my favourite eyeliner formula to use. I just find them so easy to use. And I'm someone who doesn't do eyeliner often. I just find it really tedious. But these make it an absolute dream. And last but not least, we have the 4 new Chroma Shift shadows. It didn't really show up on my eye. I think this would be better to use when you're not using a bunch of other products like I kind of did. But these are really pretty, so cool. I'm definitely going to have to use them again. I feel like they're going to be really cool for a festival. So that is all of the products from the collection. Overall, I really like the collection. I do like the Legend of Korra and the Avatar series, so I think it's really cool that Colourpop has done a collaboration with them. And the products I would suggest the most out of the collection to pick up would definitely be the liners and the lip products. Personally, those are my favourite, but nonetheless, I think every product is pretty good in this collection. Well, that is it, guys. I'm going to finish the video off here. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. It helps me out by pushing my channel out to new potential viewers. And if you want to see more content from me and you're not yet already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. And of course, if you want to see any other looks that I don't create here, check out my Instagram at MakeupWithAlix. All my social links are linked down below. I am the most active on Instagram just because creating content while being a uni student can be very overwhelming at times, and YouTube is not my main priority. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!